Hey, the Rose Festival wraps up this weekend, and right now Fleet Week is in full swing. This morning, we're getting an inside look on one of those ships. Rod Hill has been working.
Are we calling him Captain Hill yet?
I think so, yeah.
Captain Hill on board the USS Montgomery for us this morning.
All right, we are live in the mess, the galley of the USS Montgomery, and CS1, which is culinary specialist, Flamonte is joining us.
Yes, Howard. Good morning.
So now, have you been into cooking as a kid? Did you always love being in the kitchen?
Yeah, I've been doing this for 8 years now. Before the Navy, I actually did do more food service work. I worked at In-N-Out for about a couple of years. I worked at Elks Lodge / Four Seasons for a couple of years. So when I joined the Navy, or trying to join the Navy, they offered me all these different jobs, and I was like, you guys don't have a position for a cook? They said, yeah, actually, you want to do that? And now I'm here.
So you said you worked at In-N-Out, the burger place. Is that right? You know, I get this, U.S. Navy. I worked at McDonald's for 6.5 years. Perhaps I am qualified.
Yes, you are. Definitely. Just a little bit of retraining and you're there.
I do want to know, seriously, if I'm going through the recruiting process, I want to know what kind of food I'm having and how much do I get to eat. Is it a buffet type setup and you can literally go back for seconds, or how does that work?
We have a cafeteria set up where we have provided our 2 entrees, 2 starches, a veggie, and a soup usually for lunch and dinner. Our sailors come in through the line. We feed them, portion, you know. And, yeah, we do have seconds on board as well.
All right, this is for the recruiting. People thinking about joining the Navy. There are seconds. That's important.
Yes.
Now, I've been watching this gentleman, the chef, this morning, and he's putting together a pretty good spread. I had the eggs, the hash, the potatoes, the bacon. I was told I could have a piece of bacon. Can we work our way over and use it? Eric, I'm going to have a piece of bacon. This is U.S. Navy bacon, which to me looks pretty good. Being served by CS1 Flamonte. I'm just going to use my hands. Thank you. Do you know, does the Army have thick bacon, or is it similar to this? Do you know?
It's got to be very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we all have the same vendors here.
What do you love most? How long have you been in the Navy, by the way?
About 8 years.
About 8 years?
Yeah.
And what do you love about it?
Honestly, just seeing the crew's faces every time they come back, they say, hey, man, that was so bomb. That was so delicious. You know, I really want seconds like right now. You know what I mean?
I mean, the food looks pretty good this morning, the breakfast.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, we have my CS2 right here, CS2 Brown, culinary specialist second class.
Mr. Brown, is that right? CS2? Yes,
sir.
He's the mastermind behind this morning's breakfast?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How many years you been in, Mr. Brown?
I've been in 11 years.
11 years. Mostly being a chef or CS?
Yes, sir. I've been about 10 years. 10 years a chef, and 2 years I was an undesignated sailor.
You're a very important person.
I try to be, sir. I try to be.
And you guys, for holidays, you have spreads, we would say, right?
Yeah, definitely. For Thanksgiving, New Year's, Easter, we usually do a little roast for the crew. You know, just put out a good spread.
All right. The bacon is fantastic.
The Rose Festival is wrapping up this weekend, but before that happens, this morning we are talking all about the Fleet Week fun on the Portland waterfront.
Rod Hill is covering this for us this morning out of the studio down there along the waterfront. Rod, I'm looking up at our monitor to see where you're at now, because you have given us some great viewpoints on board the USS Montgomery.
Yeah, we're up at the bridge. Can you look out the windows, Chad? Is that a decent shot? So this is the view from the bridge, the USS Montgomery that Chad's giving you right now. I realize that for the most part the ship is docked and not turned on, but I'm a bit insulted that the Navy doesn't think that I can really push enough buttons to get us into trouble. They seem pretty calm about the buttons that I want to push. We're coming out to Lieutenant Annie Rafferty, who is a ship's navigator. I slipped and said aviator earlier. Of course, that's the Air Force, those people. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. It's so nice to have you here this morning.
So this is your position on ship when you're working?
Yes, absolutely.
And tell me just a little bit about what you do as a ship's navigator.
So as a ship's navigator, my primary role is creating voyage plans to get the ship from point A to point B, making sure that we're meeting the speeds of advance that we need to get there on time or early, and meet with any other ships that we may be operating with.
You have a meteorologist on board, I'm assuming. Is that right or not right?
We do
or
not.
A weather expert of some sort? No?
We do not.
Navy, let me tell you, if you guys would start hiring meteorologists, that's surprised to me. But obviously, weather reports are very important to you.
Absolutely. So many ships are moving towards having the meteorologists and their counterparts on board. On USS Montgomery, we haven't gotten any meteorologists yet. So
We're very important people, you know.
I agree. As a navigator, I agree wholeheartedly. But in this experience, it's become very important for those of us who are involved in navigation to become very familiar with weather reports and forecasting and what we think's actually going to happen so that we can make sure that we're safely navigating through especially the longer transits.
And how long are some of your voyages?
Longer voyages that I've been a part of have been from Guam to Singapore.
Oh, wow.
So through the Philippine archipelago, phenomenal transit.
So you have to hit high seas at times, right?
Absolutely.
And, I mean, this is a large ship, but do you really reach the high seas sometimes where you have to literally buckle in?
We have not had seas to a point of buckling in, but we have had seas that are a little uncomfortable for the watchstanders when we hit bigger storms.
And then how many people on the daily operation just calm, if there's a calm day in the Navy, would you say how many people would be on the bridge?
We have two primary watchstanders, the officer of the deck and the junior officer of the deck, and then we have plenty of people that are up here receiving training so that they can work on their qualifications as well to continue to be the future of the Navy.
And what do you love about the Navy the most?
I love training.
You love training?
I
Oh,
do.
you love training people.
Yes.
You don't love the training yourself. I was going to say, what?
I love learning, but I really love having the opportunity to train, especially as the navigator, training the younger junior officers how to handle ships, because I fell in love with ship handling when I was 22, 23 years old in their position, and to be able to pass that on to them is a gift, truly.
Have you ever been in a canoe and it tipped over?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good training right there. So you picked this path of your naval career to be a
Yes.
navigator?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, I was told, tell me if this is not somewhat correct. Is that fairly correct form?
Very correct form.
Thank you for joining
You
us.
look like you've been doing it for years. Thank you.
Welcome back. We are talking about the Rose Festival this morning, specifically Fleet Week. There are a number of cool ships anchored right now at the Portland waterfront.
We know this because Rod Hill is out there for us this morning on board the USS Montgomery. Rod, that gentleman you're about to introduce us to again is wearing probably the whitest suit on the history of the earth, because I don't think you can make clothes as white as what we're about to see.
And let me tell you, nobody has more respect for the military than I do. So, Commanding Officer Rush allowed us to have a little fun and give a snap inspection going into the commercial break. And for that, I thank you, sir.
Not a problem, sir.
You looked sharp. I enjoyed that.
I appreciate it. Well, glad to be here. And, you know, it's 117 years. The Navy has been here at the Portland Rose Festival Fleet Week. So this year, Mighty Montgomery has the opportunity to represent the Navy and hope to do it well over this weekend.
Now, I was told this is a multi-versatile ship in terms of the assignments it would get, but give us a couple of the different assignments that the ship has been on over the years.
Yeah, so we had the opportunity, obviously, back in San Diego, where we're home ported. We did San Diego Fleet Week in 2022, and then we were able to assist the USS Portland, actually, in the recovery of the Artemis unmanned capsule later that year. But we also have the opportunity to train other crews as they go over the horizon on other littoral combat ships.
And how many sailors on board at one given time?
Usually we have approximately about 75 to 100 personnel on board to accomplish any mission we need to.
So an average day on board, I mean, is it like a so-called normal job where the crew wakes up and they're given their assignment sheets for the day?
Well, there's a routine. You know, we start the day with reveille, and there's many activities that happen before we get to taps. But
What time is revelry? I can't even say it.
That's okay. Usually approximately 0600 in the morning.
That's not bad. I get up at 2:30.
Oh, living large then. But yeah, and then normally taps closer to 2200 or 10 o'clock at night.
So you're obviously a career man. Congratulations on a successful career. How many ships have you been the commanding officer on?
So this is my third. So I've been privileged to have command 3 times over 22 years of naval service.
Do you remember what was your first assignment when you were just a young pup in the Navy, if you will?
I was an ensign on the USS Ogden, LPD-5. So it was a 40-year-old steamship based out of San Diego as well. So again, main propulsion officer. So you're working as an engineer, getting a little dirtier than these whites would allow.
And in the Navy, for somebody that's thinking about making this a career, are the steps in rank largely tied to educational opportunities that are given to you as being in the Navy?
I think that's one of the coolest things about the Navy is it's all about education, right? You're learning a craft, you're learning a trade, but you're also, interacting. You have the opportunity to do a lot of different things. So I've had the opportunity to get an MBA in financial management from the Naval Postgraduate School. I've also had the opportunity to go and do the senior course at the Naval War College up in Newport, Rhode Island as well.
And I know you wanted to take a minute and welcome people to come down for the tours that start at 9:30 this morning.
Yeah, we've been pretty blessed with this weather, and one of the big things that we want to do is really just open up this ship to the great city of Portland. We've had the opportunity to open it to the city of Astoria, and then we had the opportunity to go down the Columbia River in our transit to here. And it's just, the biggest thing is I want you to see the caliber of sailors that we have on board. It's really the best and brightest that our country has to offer. So really just ask people to engage and just be taken back in awe of how amazing they are.
So thank you so much. Your crew's been fabulous. We've had so much fun touring your ship. And I don't know if you were told, I'm going to back up a little bit while I tell you this, but they let me sit in your chair. Were they supposed to do that?
If you're important, I imagine we probably got to make some space for you. The real important question is, was it comfortable?
It was very comfortable. If you're going in the Navy, I highly recommend becoming the commanding officer one day. Commander Rush, thank you very much.